Hi, Jerry here from Native Sports Medicine. Today we're going to talk about the deadlift, and we're going to talk about why we like to do it and what's important about it. We're also going to explain the difference between why you should do a deadlift versus doing a squat. Okay? So if you're doing a deadlift, then do a deadlift. What does that mean? It means that this bone does not move during that movement pattern. If you want to do a squat, then do a squat. The squat basically means that this bone is going to start to move forward. And why is that different from the deadlift? Because when you do that, you're going to access more of the quads because of the way that your body's moving. When you do a deadlift, you're going to be accessing more of your glutes and hamstrings, which is what that exercise is meant to be. Now, a lot of people complain about low back pain when they do the deadlift. Typically, it's because that they haven't positioned the weight correctly, or they don't have the length in their hamstrings to accommodate where they need to be in that position. Anthony is demonstrating something that we call the squeeze, crush, and sniff. What's happening is that he's squeezing his arms across the ribcage, into the ribcage. He's crushing the grip at the bottom, and he's taking a sniff at the end. These are all important things to do before you lift or start lifting any weight, because it enables the muscles and the areas in the back to be more stable, so that when you add the weight in there, you'll be a lot safer. The reason why we like using kettlebell first versus going to a barbell is because it helps keep that weight underneath the center of mass, which is basically your pelvis in this case. And that ensures, again, that the where you are lifting is going to be as safe as it can be for your back. Now, you also notice that we're doing this exercise on a box. Typically, we do this starting off, especially for people who don't have the length in their hamstrings to do this properly. We'll go from here to a smaller box and then to the floor. Some people obviously have the flexibility, so we'll go right to the floor. You can also do this with a barbell, which a lot of people do, using the reverse grip. My only recommendation for this, which a lot of weight coaches would also recommend, is make sure that that barbell, as you're coming up and down, is as close to the shin bone as possible. If you're lifting it so that the barbell is way out in front, which a lot of people do, this is going to hurt your back. So again, grazing the surface of the shin is the goal. Okay? Going back to the swing for a second, or going back to deadlift for a second, if you can execute the deadlift correctly from the ground, that is your cue to be able to do something called a kettlebell swing, which we won't go over in this video. But if you can't do a deadlift without pain, there's no reason why you should be doing the kettlebell swing, because that's just going to make it a lot worse. Okay? So again, the points, deadlift, make sure that your shin bone is perpendicular to the ground. If you're doing a squat, that's fine. Just make sure that your knee is actually coming forward, and that'll differentiate what you're doing and the muscles that you're accessing for that movement. For any more questions, please contact us at www.nativept.com, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions about what we're doing.